Hi everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is my first report for January of 2021. We were in a historical year of Capricorn that began and really intensified on January 12th of 2020 when Saturn met up with Pluto at the world axis at 22 degrees of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn, and that brought down many structures in our lives on a global level and a lot of restructuring and collapsing of old paradigms. And now we're in a totally different energetic shift because at the end of the year, on the winter solstice, Saturn changed signs and entered the sign of Aquarius on December 17th, and Jupiter, which is expansion and abundance, also exited the sign of Capricorn and entered Aquarius on December 19th. The two met up and formed a new 20-year cycle on the winter solstice at 0 degrees and 29 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And this is bringing in a whole new era. This is about a technological revolution. This is about businesses and people that are struggling to reinvent themselves, facilitating that process, creating new jobs, new opportunities, ample opportunity to network and connect with people in a broken world that's rebuilding a lot around community and helping people that don't have the chance to help themselves, and bringing a lot of technology and brilliance to innovate all different types of new opportunities for all of us that we can't even think of yet. It's going to be very exciting, and it's centered very much around brilliance and innovation and infinite possibility. And this is a huge, huge change because Saturn does rule Aquarius in ancient astrology, but it's not about limitations and restrictions like in Capricorn. It's very much about freedom and connection and infinite possibility. So we begin January in a much different tone. Saturn and Jupiter are now transiting in the sign of Aquarius. Jupiter is going to transit the entire sign of Aquarius by middle of May and actually briefly enter the sign of Pisces, which it does rule in ancient astrology, and it loves being in Pisces. And it's going to be transiting in Pisces from May 13th until July 29th. And that gives us all a preview of Jupiter in Pisces. And I think what'll bring a musical renaissance, especially in this real age of Aquarius, which is so inventive and so centered around community and groups and connection in every way that we can do so. We become very alienated as a society, and now we really need to connect. Now, as we begin January, we have a few shifts that are happening in January. But for this week, let's focus on the fact that Mars, which has been transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries since June 27th, finally exits the sign of Aries and enters the sign of Taurus on January 6th. And it's going to be there until March 3rd. Now, Mars loves being in Aries, and it's very helpful for getting things accomplished, for having courage to get things done, and it was helpful for a good portion of this year of lockdown that we were all in 2020, but it retrograded from September 9th until November 13th. And it transited 28 degrees of Aries, so almost the entire sign, and it's stationed direct on November 13th at 15 degrees of Aries. So this was very frustrating because it was also setting off the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, triggering that 22 degree cardinal point, and that happened initially on August 19th and again on October 11th and again on December 19th, giving us more challenges or figuring out what we were all dealing with this story. And certainly with Mars retrograde, that can be very frustrating, very challenging. So Mars finally leaves Aries. The last time it retrograded the entire sign, as it basically did this time, was in the fall of 1988. So it doesn't happen very frequently. And again, it can be challenging, but it's a good time for reviewing how you can be more effective. Now it enters the sign of Taurus, where it'll be transiting until March 3rd. So we're done with the Mars and Aries story. We're done with having a lot of planets transiting in cardinal signs. Saturn and Jupiter are no longer transiting in the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn. Mars is no longer transiting in the cardinal sign of Aries. So cardinal signs get things done, but it can be, very, it just is always focused on getting something done. So hopefully now we're focusing on connecting and learning. We still have a lot to do, but this is a fixed sign. Aquarius is fixed change, and a lot of working on being prepared for the fact that there's a lot of unpredictable energy. I have been feeling this in spades since Saturn and Jupiter entered Aquarius, where it's been a lot happening at once. Some things fall through that I had planned on. Some things happen last minute. And that's the excitement and the possibility of the Aquarian energy. But you have to be flexible. Even though it's a fixed sign, you have to be, accepting of the fact that sometimes it'll give you twists and turns. And the other thing this week, on January 8th, Mercury exits the sign of Capricorn and enters the sign of Aquarius, more Aquarian and Uranian energy. Mercury is actually going to retrograde on January 30th at 26 degrees of Aquarius. So this is giving us all a preview of Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn's going to be in Aquarius until March 7th of 2023, and it's going to get to, as I mentioned, Mercury will get to 26 degrees of Aquarius by the end of the month. And this gives us, a preview of almost the entire transit of Saturn in Aquarius, -4 degrees, so to about February of 2023. So pay attention to the stories that are unfolding this month and next. And Mercury will station direct on, let's see here, on February 21st at 11 degrees of Aquarius, and it'll exit Aquarius on March 15th. So Mercury's in Aquarius for a few months. We've got Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And next week, Uranus, which is the Great Awakener, it's the planet of brilliance and chaos, and the modern ruler of Aquarius, is going to station direct at 6 degrees of Taurus on January 14th. So we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. So we're starting to feel it on January 9th. The innovation and inventiveness, the chaos and disruptiveness, all of that. Expect the unexpected with Uranian energy. It's very chaotic, and just really thinking on your feet and trying to go with that part of it, which I think is really exciting, but you have to be flexible and work quickly, I guess, in a different way than the cardinal year of lockdown, but in another very Uranian way too. So that's going on. And then the other thing too is we have a beautiful conjunction on January 11th. Mercury is going to meet up with Jupiter, the grand benefic, at 5 degrees of Aquarius on Monday, January 11th. That's an excellent day for all of us to target interviews, marketing campaigns, first dates, contact you need to make. If you're pitching ideas, excellent date. If you're writing, excellent day for writing. Anything you want to target, that's an excellent date on January 11th. And it is a few days before Uranus stations direct, but you're feeling that inventive energy, which is very, very prominent this month. So I wish you all a lot of luck. There's going to be a lot of Uranian energy in the month of January, whereas in December there was a lot of Neptunian energy, which can be confusing or deceptive or depressing. This is more, again, twists and turns, but excitement and inventiveness. So good luck, Happy New Year, and here we go. Thank you.